he's been involved in the church, you know, since his youngest days, and he's been a youth minister for some time. He's very, very enthusiastic about spreading the gospel and very serious about it. He formed his band Tracy, Dean, and Jesus in 2000. Well, he's done some protesting. He did some protesting on the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Jimmy Kimmel came out and
they exchanged some words. Tracy tried to save Jimmy. Jimmy agreed to only on the terms that Tracy would eat a brownie that he had, which Tracy assumed was a brownie of the devil. But Tracy, you know, he's very serious about what he does. He lives in LA now, and Tracy, Dean, and Jesus have been playing shows, and they've been playing shows at hip establishments. And their style of music it's not any traditional church music by any sense. It's pretty caustic, very punky, you know, just kind of in your face. But there's a lot of crowd interaction with the shows, and the shows are really where they don't have any recorded albums or anything yet. The shows are sort of where Tracy gets out his message.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
coming down. I really appreciate it. As I said, the kids have had an opportunity, the people have had an opportunity to look at a little bit of your work. Maybe you could just talk for a minute about how all of this started, and then I'll let them go ahead and ask you whatever questions they need to ask you.
Yeah, as Charlie pointed out, my name is Tracy Marune, minister of Waterford Christian Parish in Goshen, Ohio. And over the last 2 years, I've been on a mission trip across the country, and basically we're trying to spread the word of the Lord through the sounds and scenes of rock and roll music.
How do you make Jesus cool for kids?
I like to say, how don't you make Jesus cool for kids? But it is tough. We do tours with things like the Billy Graham mission trip, and there's a lot of great Christian rock bands. Like Creed, believe it or not, it's a pretty popular rock and roll band. They're actually a Christian band. I hope to think that we can bring some of the things to the table that these other popular Christian bands do, like such as Stryper in the 1980s.
You mentioned that you liked Creed. Scott Stapp had a porno video. Right?
I've seen that with Kid Rock.
Obviously, you don't agree with that.
And as he's a good Christian man, so he knows he will be forgiven. So I do forgive him already, but I don't appreciate his antics. But I think people remember that he's Christian and then hold him to that, and through that, they're following through in their Christian beliefs, even if they aren't.
Specifically here, how do you balance this genre that's defined by drinking and drugs and, you know, what would be considered sinful with Christianity?
Well, that's a very good question. One of the things that I pride myself on saying is that we're sort of fighting fire with fire. It's like the old saying goes, rock and roll, sex, and drugs. If you try to do that, minus the sex, minus the drugs, and just keep all the rock and all the roll, you know, I think people appreciate it.
Also, I'm confused, I'm sorry. Do you consider yourself a prophet? Is that what I saw?
People have argued that, but I do.
You do?
Yes.
What qualifies
My own embrace for the Lord Jesus Christ and my willingness to tell the truth.
Couldn't, with that same definition, many Christians around the world be considered prophets?
I mean, you call them like you see them. And I see myself and I call it.
Are you saving yourself for marriage?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
No sex until marriage.
How do you find yourself sort of fitting in here in Los Angeles now that you're here?
I'd like to say better than I do, but I don't.
It's like when you're preaching your message to kids, do you encourage them like not to listen to bands that don't consider themselves Christian, or how do you deal with?
I ask them to listen to the right bands. And when they hear that from me, they know what I'm talking about.
From people in this class that maybe don't know what you're talking about, what would you mean, like, you're saying the right bands?
The ones with a Christian message.
What about the Jimmy Kimmel protest?
The James Kimmel protest? James Kimmel, he did apologize. I'm not sure if I believe what he said, but I know I had an impact on his life, and he'll remember that.
I'm James Kimmel in the name of the Lord. Apologize to Margarita Louisiana.
proper name. Jimmy starts flying.
So, do you feel that liberals versus conservatives, is there a common ground between those two that they can meet up at, or
The land they stand on called America.
What is your songwriting process like?
A lot of times I'll take bits of my sermon, but most of it comes from the heart. And Dean Glenn, he's sort of my musical right-hand man. He possesses in his hands what I can do with my mouth.
Who would you consider major influences?
Probably George Beverly Shea, the great tenor that toured with the Billy Graham mission trip for a number of years.
How do you spell that last name?
Shea, I believe it's like Shea Stadium, S-H-A-E.
I just wanted to go back to talking about fighting fire with fire. Why not fire with water? Why did you choose fire with fire as an approach?
Those kids like to play with fire, and typically they get burned, and it's time to learn.
There's a definite punk rock aesthetic to it.
You're saying the aesthetic of my music is similar to punk rock. That's the fire I'm speaking of. The punk rock that's out there, the rock and roll, the hip hop, that's the fire. And if I can imitate that fire and fight that fire with my fire, of course it's going to be similar in some ways.
Have you received much criticism regarding your music or the message that you're trying to spread?
At times, yes. So we get nasty emails from people. For every one nasty email we get, we probably get 10 great ones. And that one nasty email, that just shows we touched a nerve. That shows we touched an absolute nerve. If they want to talk some nonsense, you do it on my court.
When you were watching a little bit of video of you performing and you were throwing some stuff out in the audience, what was that? Because you couldn't tell.
The cardboard demons, we typically, if that's what you're speaking about, we're ripping apart cardboard demons in effigy. That's what I was telling before. We take that energy and that focus and we give these kids something worthwhile tearing apart.
I noticed that you would put your hand on the heads of some concert goers, people who obviously weren't expecting it. What are you doing in that aspect?
Sneak attack. I like to use that opportunity in the middle of the song, which we're engaging them with musical melody, to just get out there. It'll be an instrumental part, and I'll just run out there, and I'll invite the audience members to come forward that feel that they have something to get off their back, to get off their chest, to lift a sin, and it's their opportunity to come physically and become one with me, and let my message read through them physically. I'd like to read something very briefly. Jeremiah 23:16. Give them poison water to drink, for from the prophets of Jerusalem ungodliness has spread throughout the land. And that poison is the corruption that our youth are being fed in their ears. And that's exactly why I'm here to fight that. If you want to reference that, it's 23:16.
On your MySpace page, your headline was "Tracy is Lord," and then in the comic book here it says, invite Tracy into your life to become your personal savior.
That's right. Let me say this: I would like to invite all of you to do that. That invitation is open.
Is this considering yourself as Jesus Christ, or?
If you want to get as close as you can to Him, doors are right here. And each one of you has a key. It's just a matter of if you're going to use it or not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming down here tonight. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Is there some way that the students could contact you in case they have a question
Yes,
about some follow-up
absolutely.
information, an email address, something like that?
TracyDeanJesus@hotmail.com. Now in the email it's TracyDeanJesus, no and, hotmail.com, at Hotmail. It's on the internet and the World Wide Web. So, definitely if you have any questions, and like I said, each one of you holds the key. Just whether or not you want to use that key or not. So feel free to email me.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chris, if you'll